since East Longmeadow is without a health agent. Just ahead, we talked to Selectman Billy Gorman about what he calls a critical and potentially hazardous issue in town. With the potential of yet another storm on its way, how is East Longmeadow faring when it comes to snow removal budget? Not to mention sand and salt reserves. We take a closer look. And with all this winter weather and snow days used, will the school year need to be extended? We talked to the school superintendent. Those stories and Spartan sports just ahead on ELCAT News Update. Good evening, I'm Rebecca Green. We begin tonight with the news that East Longmeadow is without a health agent. According to the Board of Selectmen, the most recent agent has quit. Her last day was on January 29th. So what does that leave the town? We talked to Selectman Billy Gorman, who brings us up to speed. Gorman says health agents are the professionals that keep our restaurants, schools, public pools, and other establishments safe and up to code. He says East Longmeadow has a tough time retaining a health agent thanks to two issues: lack of pay and lack of hours.
I've been through 5 health inspectors, and the same reason, they all give me the same reason: not enough money, not enough hours. They can't do the work and amount of hours we give them. We were starting out with $15 an hour for a 10-hour work week, but we have 4 hours of paperwork, so they couldn't really go out and do the job.
Looking ahead to the May town meeting, Gorman says he hopes residents will consider funding a full-time health agent. He says the $22 an hour, 19-hour per week position the town currently offers is not enough.
What I'm trying to do is get a full-time health inspector at the May meeting, the town meeting. And we interviewed a lady last night that I'm trying to get from now to the May meeting. And we asked her what she thought the job was worth. Well, she works in Northborough, or she did until they regionalized, and she was getting $33 an hour. And I'm trying to tell the board that the job with all the certification goes from 30 to 35. If we don't pay it, we're not going to keep anybody.
Gorman says the only way to get and keep a qualified health agent is to offer incentives.
In East Longmeadow, that's going to be the first priority for what we got to do at a town meeting. We got to hire someone. We got to give them a car or mileage. We got to give them, the benefits. It got to be a 37.5-hour work week, because we have one problem out here by not inspecting something, and someone gets sick, and this town could be sued. I think it's a lot better getting a health agent and doing the right thing in town instead of doing what we're doing right now. I mean, I've been fighting with the other selectmen to try to get this resolved.
Gorman offers a new strategy.
What I'll have to probably end up doing, because of what happened with these health agents, I'm going to have to give them, I'm against 5-year contracts, but I think for the health agent we should give them a 5-year contract, because they think working for a town, most of them have told me this, that the money is budgeted and they don't want to be here 3 years and they're out the door again.
Gorman says the health position should be priority number 1.
Public got to be aware of what's going on. I mean, it's for their benefit. But that got to be the number 1 priority at the town meeting, is to hire a full-time health agent of anything we do.
No word yet on whether the part-time position has been filled. In other news, forecasters say more snow is on the way. Just how much is not clear, but the East Longmeadow DPW says it's ready. At the Board of Public Works meeting this week, DPW Superintendent Robert Parent says the snow removal budget is intact, despite the last 2 storms.
We had, as of the 28th, exceeded our budget, which we've done every year in the past 10+ years. Right. We were trending very well compared to last year. I suspect that we've closed the gap compared to last year after these last 2 storms.
As for the amount of sand and salt reserves, Parent says we're in good shape. He says we've certainly used a good amount in the last 2 weeks, but more is on the way.
Do we have any salt left?
Yes, but we're voted 20 more trucks, so we had a couple more come in today, so we're okay for another storm, maybe 2, but...
Is availability there?
Yeah, we're not having a problem getting it. They had problems today delivering because they had too many drivers that were out today because they were all responding to the storm yesterday. But the product is there. It's just getting it to us was a hold up today.
More snow is expected toward the end of the weekend and into Monday. Parent says crews are ready. With all the snow lately, there is some concern that students may be running out of snow days. ELCAT's Nina Fazio talked to school superintendent Gordon Smith and has the update.
With over a foot of snow that fell in this latest storm and another snow day for students in the books, many people are wondering just how many snow days students have left.
We've had 3 snow days so far, and 2 in the last 2 weeks. So I think it's certainly on everybody's mind right now, because as we entered into January, we picked up 2 pretty large storms back to back, and so that causes not only a snow day, but a lot of cleanup and a lot of rescheduling and so forth. And so everybody's antsy anytime now the weatherman says, oh, there may be some snow coming in.
Superintendent Gordon Smith says the school calendar is designed with a specific number of snow days in mind. He says every day that's missed because of weather or whatever reason has to be made up until the magic number of 5.
Well, actually, the way it works is we schedule each school year for 180 days for students to meet. However, we're also required to add, so on every calendar that you'll see that we publish as a school year calendar, we'll show where the 180th day is, and then we'll add 5 additional days for the possibility of snow cancellations. So no matter where you have the snow day within those 5, you're making that up. And even if you go beyond those 5, the reality is we're making those days up.
In other words, the last day of school was June 11th, but we've had 3 snow days, so now tack on 3 more school days.
However, in this year, right now, we're looking at, we've had 3 snow days, so our last school day this year is June 16th, which I believe is a Tuesday, and we're in good position. It's not dissimilar to other years.
Smith says the decision to call off school because of weather is a bit tricky.
There's no exact science to it, and there's a lot of people involved. I actually, pretty continuously, probably because I'm somewhat anxious about it, I'll look at the Weather Channel online as I start to learn of a coming storm. I start communicating with our Department of Public Works and see what they're seeing, because they have different weather feeds and weather information that might be helpful. Ask what type of preparation they're thinking about, and then we discuss also some of the decisions that I may have to make. I also then reach out to area superintendents. Most specifically, I'll reach out to Hamden-Wilbraham and Longmeadow and just see what are they thinking.
So as it stands, the last day of school is June 16th, assuming we do not have another snow day. Stay tuned. Another storm is predicted for next week. For ELCAT News, I'm Nina Fazio.
In sports news, on Tuesday, the East Longmeadow High School boys basketball team went up against Westfield Bombers. The Spartans started the game off strong by getting the first couple of shots to take the lead early in the game. But the game took a turn when Westfield went into a dangerous trapping press that slowed East Longmeadow down. Nevertheless, throughout the matchup, the Spartans fought their way back. In the fourth quarter, EL came back to just a 5-point difference, thanks to the team's hard-working effort and especially thanks to Derek Shishon and A.J. Allen's 3-point baskets. Unfortunately, East Longmeadow's fighting efforts did not make the cut, as Westfield claimed victory at the ending score with 62-51. East Longmeadow looks to bounce back as they take on Westside later this week. In Spartan hockey news, a tough loss against Agawam for the boys on Tuesday night. Now they face an uphill battle for the playoffs. Gavin Butler called the game and has this wrap-up.
Welcome back to ELCAT Sports. I'm Gavin Butler for your nightly recap between East Longmeadow Spartans and the Agawam Brownies for tonight's hockey game. Coming off of a win against South Hadley, a huge win against South Hadley, suffering a tough loss tonight against the Agawam Brownies. 6-2 was the final score. You know, a lot of dominating performances tonight by both teams in the first period. You know, Spartans showed good life, and Agawam dominating them as well. Good shots from both teams, but after that, clearly Agawam was a better team, showing both more toughness, more speediness, and good shots. Also, good puck movement by Agawam. You know, Spartans, you know, they tried their hardest, they did the best. You know, just wasn't able to keep up with Agawam, and the result was 6-2 Agawam. Thank you for joining us. I'm Gavin Butler for the nightly recap from ELCAT Sports. Good night.
Well, that will do it for us tonight. Thanks for watching ELCAT News Update. I'm Rebecca Green. Until next time, good night.